joining us. You can hear me, man. I'm glad that you can hear and you can hear the music. You like that music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made
AI
it.
music.
I made that music. So I used the AI to come up with the concept, right? And then I go ahead and put my own stuff to it, you know? It's just a little jingle. It's nothing, it doesn't need to be fancy, you know?
Yeah.
It's just intro music.
It's better than paying for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Over the weekend, I did a lot of stuff, man. Went to Fiesta, woke up early on Saturday. Went to go eat at Mi Tierra. Then after that, went to Market Square. Hung out for a bit. We're going to talk about that, man. It's a different experience now. What's up, Sam Salinas? Thanks for joining. Also went and saw the movie The Thunderbolts. We'll get into that too, and I'll let you know what I thought about it. Non-spoiler review kind of coming in. NBA playoffs happened over the weekend, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Says y'all need to add some reverb. Is that what y'all call it to the intro? Funky. They wants to get fancy with it, man. Yeah, so we get that. We got also a little bit of boxing news to talk about real quick. Not going to go like in the full long depth discussion about it, but just kind of talk about it. And some Spurs were cited yesterday. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell were cited in somebody's locker room there. So we'll talk about that.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for joining us here for another episode of the Area 210 podcast. I'm your host here, Joe Garcia, stepping in for one Michael Jimenez, who's still on vacation in Miami. We're going to be joined by the one and only DJ LG. What's up, LG?
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to go without the hat, dude, because I was saying you got a good cut. You got a haircut over the weekend.
I don't ever go without the hat, though, even if I get a haircut. So,
yeah,
I
I'm
have
wearing
hair. I'm not bald, so.
Yeah, I'm wearing my hat.
I'm bald because I wear a hat all the time.
Yeah, but I really like the hat. A little bit of the Fiesta throwback there.
There you go.
Looking good. Yeah, there you go. And me, I'm wearing my Star Wars gear in honor of May the 4th that happened on Saturday, so I got to come and represent.
Yeah.
Represent.
May the 4th be with you. Yeah. Did you do any Star Wars related activities or festivities or celebrations?
Nah, man, didn't get to. So busy on Saturday, man. I was doing the Fiesta thing. And then after that, I came back home and I was ready for the fight, Canelo, I had to watch the Canelo fight with family here, so it was great. Shout out to our boy, Matt Lerma. It was his birthday over the weekend. He was celebrating his birthday, not his actual birthday. But shout out to him. I missed his party on Saturday, so I told him.
It's your birthday.
So I told him that I'll take him out to dinner, man. So I'll take him somewhere nice. I got you, homie. Oh, and look, we're joined by Albert Lopez saying good morning. Good morning, JHNSB. He says, part-time Jimenez skipping his show, shaking my head. No Jimenez again. Yep, no Jimenez again.
Yep.
What did they say? LG in the casa. There you go. Producer, content creator, extraordinaire.
Thank you, sir. SR $ 2001 question mark.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
Shout out to him for joining us, man. We appreciate y'all. And like always, we're coming to you live from the beautiful west side of San Antonio, representing Puro Exit 7, man.
Well, you are.
I am. Yeah.
I'm coming from the Puro northeast side, San Antonio. Yeah.
Puro northeast side.
Yeah, Puro northeast.
Where everybody can see you from the back of your deck. I'm telling you, man, you should go out there and give them a little show, man, on the weekend.
Take the sledgehammer to it one day and just tear it down myself, honestly.
I'm telling you, man, just do it. Do a show like that,
like a rope ladder going down from the back patio.
What is that one guy that I like? I forget his name, and he always does live shows in the middle of like Times Square or wherever, right? And he's like, today is Monday and we don't give a shit. Fuck you. I don't care. I'm going to quit, you know? And
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds like my kind of show. Damn.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He's a DJ. I forgot his name, but he does these live shows and everybody he brings them up and he's like, "What's up? What's going on?" Like we're going to go ahead and he's going to make a song or he's going to do a mix according to how their mood is and how they're feeling, you know? So it's like it's cool. It's just for fun. But the dude's full of energy, man. I got to show you all that. He's really funny. But over the weekend we had Fiesta, we had boxing, we had NBA playoffs going on, movies. You know, I took part in a lot of stuff this weekend, just enjoying my time off from work. You know, because, dude, I got to tell you, man. Ever since they've made everybody, all the federal employees, have that mandate where they had to return to work like last Monday.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
crazy, dude.
That does. Oh, so you had to go to an office?
No, not me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm not in that because of what I do. I can't really talk about it, you know.
Oh, I
But
got you. Yeah.
but what I do for a living, I'm like outside the law. I'm outside the law for now,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But if I do have to like if they do recall me and they're like, "Hey, man, you got to go back to the office," bro, I got to go to Virginia.
Oh, damn.
Unless they go ahead and they're kind enough to assign me to a local federal building here, like the ERO building over by the airport, then hey, man, I'll be cool. I'll stay in San Antonio. But if not, I'm gone, bro. It's like I got to move shop and go to Virginia. Me
Yeah.
and my whole team, you know. So I'm like, damn.
Wow.
Oh, look
That's
at
crazy.
we got Benji. He goes, so Joe is in San Antonio and LG is out in the Middle East.
Yeah. The middle of Northeast San Antonio. That's for sure.
Benji says, anyway, say boxing this weekend, bro. No lies detected in that, man. That's the thing that we're going to talk about, too, a little bit. I don't know if you're a big boxing aficionado, LG. Are you?
Nah, not really. I've shot a few boxing events as a cameraman, but I'm not huge into the whole boxing society here in San Antonio, and it is huge here.
It
We
is
have we have
huge.
team boxing. There was team boxing this weekend. Crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. I never heard of that. Team boxing?
Yeah, team boxing. It's like you have like a whole team of like 10 boxers, and they all box one round, and then you add up the points at the end. It's weird. They had it at Techport.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard about
We
that,
have
dude.
like
That's
yeah,
wild.
you have to look it up. We have it. San Antonio has a team called the Snipers, I think, and they're a boxing team. And you can mix genders too. Like they're not like a woman and a man fight each other, but you can have like, you know, 2 women fight each other on your team, and then 2 men fight round 3, and then 2 women will fight round 4, and it's weird.
That's nuts, dude. I never heard about that. I got to check that out. I got to tell my boy Spernandez if he's ever heard about that. I've never heard about that.
Yeah.
And Benji says that sounds horrible. And somebody said Mitch has a press conference today, Tavarius. So we'll see if he in fact
alright.
does. But yeah, man, the boxing over the weekend, it started on Friday. And, you know, and you had Garcia, Raleigh, you know, Haney, Teofimo Lopez. I had to say, man, out of all those fights, probably the one that was the most entertaining to me was the Teofimo Lopez fight. He came out and he really showed that he was ready to box from the get-go. Good for him. Ryan Garcia, the Raleigh fight, I watched that, sorely disappointed in Ryan Garcia. He came out ill-prepared, kind of like took his opponent for granted, just thought he was going to come in there and get the easy win. Was not the case. He got dropped early on, and he was just never the same after that. Credit to Raleigh, man. He came out and shined in the biggest moment on the biggest stage in the middle of Times Square, outdoors, you know, to go ahead and put more insult to injury. You know, you're not in like a dome. You're not in Madison Square Garden or anything like that. You're middle of Times Square. They just put a boxing ring out there, and the brother did his thing. So credit to him, man. He was more prepared and came in there and really just dropped Ryan on his ass, you know. So Ryan Garcia goes back crawling again. Let's see what happens. The Haney fight was disappointing to me. Haney just looked like he was ducking and dodging, didn't really want to engage, kind of looked shook. Think he still had Ryan Garcia on his mind. So I'm just like, it was boring, dude. Boring, disappointing and boring. Saturday, we get the Canelo fight. All right, man, this is going to be a great fight. It's boring, bro. Skull was just jumping around, wouldn't engage. And then when he did, it was
pretty boring.
boring. It was pretty
I didn't see
boring.
the other fight, but I did see the Canelo fight, and yeah, I was just waiting for. I was like, all right, are
What's
y'all guys
going
gonna start
on?
fighting? Like, come
Yeah,
on
man.
now.
I'm just like, dude, this is pretty boring, man. And Canelo was just like getting body shots and getting them, getting his points. And he was just making the most of what was in front of him. The other
It looked
fighter
like
didn't
it
want to
almost looked
engage.
like Olympic boxing there, like towards the
Yeah.
round 8. It looked like Canelo was trying to score points on an Olympic level with little, punches that didn't have any power behind them. It's just like, what are you doing, dude?
Canelo played it smart. I mean, he's up there in age already, and he might not be the boxer he once was, so he has to be smart with what he does out there. And love him or hate him, man, Canelo did the best thing that he could out there. He had Skull just dancing around, jumping around. And when he had his opportunities, he would go in there and give him body shots, and kind of engage him when he could. And he did enough to win. I think Skull could have actually won this match if he had engaged Canelo, because he was too fast. Canelo couldn't catch him. He had a longer reach. He was a taller fighter. His conditioning was great because he was just jumping around, throughout the whole match. It didn't look like he was getting tired. But whatever, man. It was just boring. No. And then at the end, they have the big announcement that you're going to have Crawford and Canelo. So I'm like, all
they
right,
had
September
him right
12th.
there in the ring to do
Yeah.
a stare off immediately after Canelo goes
Yeah.
max rounds after a fight. You got to go stare off your next opponent. Like they're like, all right, now on to the next one.
He
It's
knew
all business.
all business. They knew what they're doing.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's
Oh, they know
hyping up
exactly
the
what
next
they're
fight.
doing. Yeah,
This is going to be a big
immediately.
one. Yeah, this is going to be a big fight. And the good thing about this fight with Canelo and Crawford there is Dana White's going to be involved with this one. This is the first fight that Dana White is going to be helping promote with this conglomerate that they have now, with Turkey and everybody. So this is going to be cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully this one delivers. It's not boring. But I got to say, man, over the weekend, the fight that really did deliver to me was the Inoue fight, man. And Cardenas, that was a good one, man. That was a really good one. You stayed up for that one on a Sunday evening. You were treated to probably one of the best fights of the year, I'd have to say. Fight of the year, fight of the year contention right here, because they actually did something that you're supposed to do as a fighter. That was actually box, LG. They actually threw hands, man.
Well, damn. It's about time. At least, we had a boxing match every night. So third day's a charm, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I seen better fights, quite honestly, when I was seeing what was happening Friday and Saturday. I seen better fights over here at the HEB parking lot, man. Case in point.
Oh,
Almost
I saw
every
some-
time.
I saw some good Fiesta fights on the social medias.
Oh, yeah,
you
dude.
can't have a Fiesta without a few, hands
Yeah.
being thrown in the streets.
Usually it's the Edgars or the Fiesta Sucias, tortas getting into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they put a better performance out there for the crowd than the ones that, the boxers that came to fight on Friday and on Saturday. It was kind of boring, man. But Sunday's fight was great. And I'm going to show you guys this because credit to my boy Fernandez, because I heard it through him, so I'm going to give him all the credit in the world, because he was the one that spotted this and he had tweeted it out. And he said, look, man, he says Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell were spotted in Ramon Cardenas' locker room before his fight with Inoue. And a lot of people don't know, like Fernandez was saying, that Cardenas is a San Antonio product, This is San Antonio's own Ramon Cardenas. So it was cool to see, Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell there in the locker room, man, before his big fight. And this was Ramon Cardenas, like, big match, going up against Inoue. I got to say, man, this kid came out there, and even though he lost, they called the fight in the 8th round. Kid has a chin, man, and respect to him, because he came out there and he was throwing hands, man. He even dropped Inoue. The monster, that's what they call him. That's his nickname. He dropped Inoue there, man, in the 2nd round, and Inoue got back up. They were dropping each other, They were just out there throwing hands. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they did the right thing, I think, because this kid was getting walloped, man. You could tell that he was kind of out of his league there, but at least he's a warrior, and he came out there and he was fighting.
So did they stop it?
They stopped it because
Okay.
he slowed down. He was slowing down too much. He wasn't really, being able to quite defend himself. And he had taken a lot of damage, dude. He had like gotten over 100 punches thrown at him already that had landed, and you could tell there's a picture of him and Inoue at the end, and Cardenas is all beat up, bro. So they did the right thing, man. So we're gonna go ahead.
I'm not surprised to see Keldon in the locker room of a boxing fighter because he supports all San Antonio boxing. I've seen him
Yeah.
at a ton of local boxing events.
Yeah. And we're gonna be joined here by the one and only Jeff Garcia. Jeff, what's up, Jeff?
Nothing much, dudes. What's going on, man? Glad you're bringing up boxing, man. It was a horrible weekend of boxing, man.
Whew, man, it was a stink show. Friday was horrible. Saturday was horrible. Sunday delivered though. Anyway, in San Antonio's own Ramon Cardenas, man, he threw some hands, bro. And even though they called the match in the 8th round, I mean, Cardenas took a lot of damage at that point, and he was slowing down. They did the kid a favor, man. You never want to go and see a boxer take on that much damage and possibly end his career, or even worse, get put in the hospital with some type of a career-ending injury. But they did the right thing, and they ended the match, and the kid gets to fight another day. But he's a warrior, Jeff. I mean, he went out there and they did something that no other fighters did over the weekend, Jeff. They threw hands. They actually boxed.
Man, what's up with the Ryan Garcia? Is he washed out already or what, man? He couldn't handle that power. He couldn't handle that dude's power.
Yeah, he's trash, man. He came in ill prepared, underestimated his opponent, but credit to Raleigh. He made the most out of the situation because Ryan took it easy. He shined in the biggest moment and the biggest stage out there in New York. So he did his thing, man, and he's moving on, So he put his name out there.
What do you think about that what's his name? Skull or Scroll or what his
School?
name is? School, yeah.
Oh man, the guy was just
He was
playing around.
Literally dancing
around, dude. Dancing around the whole time. Didn't engage with Canelo. If he had engaged with Canelo, I think he could have actually beat Canelo because the guy looked like he was in great shape. He had great conditioning. I mean, he could throw hands, but he just decided not to engage with Canelo, maybe because he was afraid of Canelo's power. He didn't want to get the body shots. I think he got hit. He was getting hit to the body a lot, and he felt that power from Canelo, and he's probably, hey, man, I can't contend with this guy, I'm going to just jump around.
Remember, the ref was trying to get them to fight. He kept on telling them, let's get it on, let's play, let's do something out there. And it was just horrible weekend of boxing outside of the San Antonio guy.
Yeah, everybody's saying that we could have. We don't put in your intro music, Jeff. I was like, I can't today because we're using a different system. So sorry, guys. And look at that, Jesse.
Hey, wait. Is Mike on a milk carton right now?
Yeah, he's on a milk carton. He's over in Miami still.
That guy, man. He couldn't do something remotely from Miami?
No, he's gonna be on the plane, or he's all pela right now. He's probably trying to recover.
Hey, can you blame him? I mean, I wouldn't. If I was in Miami, I'd be like, sorry, Joe. Have fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's having his fun right now. I bet you check out the gear, Jeff, because I wasn't able to do the show on a weekend, because we do it Monday through Friday.
I see.
Yeah, man. I'm wearing my shirt, sporting my hat, in honor of May the 4th that happened on over the weekend on Saturday.
Yesterday. No, you know what? Speaking of Star Wars, man, I just really started to get into Andor, the season 2.
Hey, that one's a banger, dude. It's good.
I just finished episode 1 the other night. And great beginning, man. That was a really, really good start to it. But just a heads up, everybody, it is a lot of talky. So just a heads up on that.
No, man, it's moved along faster, I think, than season 1 did. But it's really good, Jeff. I ain't gonna ruin it for you, but it was really good. I wanted to bring you on because
this one leads to Rogue One, right?
That what?
This series leads to Rogue One, right?
Yeah. That leads into Rogue One. They said as soon as you finish watching the finale, right, of Andor, they want you to put in Rogue One right away.
Which, by the way, is my new GOAT of Star Wars films.
Yeah, man. It's the best one.
I mean, just edges out Empire, man.
So this is what we're going to move on to, because this is why we brought you on the show. We're going to talk about Coach Pop, the retirement news, and kind of have a reaction. I want to get DJ LG's reaction right here. LG, what did you think, man, when you heard the news of Coach Pop and his retirement that is coming now?
I mean, I wouldn't call it retirement. I guess retirement from coaching, but he's still going to have his fingerprint all over this team when it comes to the front office. And I mean, it was expected. Can you blame the guy who wants to go on that brutal travel schedule after you just had a stroke and another incident where you passed out at a restaurant? So good for him, man. Spend time with your family. Enjoy life. You've made
Yeah.
it. You've made it a long time ago, and the fact that he's still here when he said he was going to retire after Duncan went away. I mean, we've got extra coaching years out of him. It's great. Good for him.
Yeah, one of the things that I said was kind of comical to me, and it's not funny that he's retiring due to his medical issues that he's had. I wish him the best, and all that. It's the reaction, so to speak, from the fan base itself. They act like he's
Yeah.
dead. They act like he passed
Yeah.
away. There's the city's in mourning. They're talking to people. They're interviewing people. They're crying. Oh, Coach Pop, we love you. I'm like, bro, he's not dead, man. You all act like the brother's dead. They did the same thing with Timmy, Tony, Manu. Oh, crying over there. They're retiring. I'm like, the brother's still at the game. They go to the game, man. You see Manu there, Timmy. You see Tim. What's his name? David Robinson there. Bruce Bowen. Some of these other guys there. And it's like, they're not dead, man. The fans, I mean, I understand that they get enamored with certain players and coaches, especially Coach Pop, but they act like he's dead and he's not, dude. I'm just like, come on, Jeff, why do they do that?
Because it's Pop. That's pretty much it. It's Pop, and he's beloved in San Antonio. There's murals of him, a couple in San Antonio. It's just the way it is in San Antonio. And
But it's not like Coach Pop is a part of their family. He's not eating dinner with them. You know what I mean?
no, but you know how San Antonio does.
Yeah. I mean, they were even showing people at Fiesta, and they were wearing the
They
Coach
can do the
Pop
same thing
t-shirts.
they can do the same thing for DJ when he retires. Exactly. There was being mourning. There was going to be sad. There's going to be candlelight vigil for him. There, right, DJ?
For who?
No. No, not at all. No one will even remember me. But
He's like, no one's going to remember him.
yeah.
Oh, God. No, but I'm just saying, that's the way they act at times. They act like said player or like Coach Pop is dead.
It's
I'm
not.
just like,
It's not necessarily the death of him. It's the death of the coaching career, and it's one of the most legendary coaching careers on the face of the planet Earth. And that's I understand the NBA doing what they're doing and the tributes and the players putting out tweets, but yeah, the fans are overreacting a little bit because the dude's not dead, but it is the end of an era, and
It
it's
is.
a lot of unknowns going forward. Even though Mitch
I
Johnson
can't.
is taking over.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Pop sitting with Timmy, Tony, and Manu and watching the game at the Frost. I mean, if he does make it a public appearance, I hope that's his first one, sitting with the big three, watching the game.
Look at Renji says, I call it empathy, man. It's good to have empathy. Yes, I get that. But y'all act like, not you all, but some of these fans act like he's dead. I'm like, he's not dead. It's like, you could be sad a little bit and be like, all right, Coach Pop is gone. We're not going to see him again. But that's the thing, is that you never know when you're going to see the last of either a player on the court or a coach there. And everybody was like, oh, I wonder when we're going to see the last of Pop, and I wonder when that day's going to happen. Well, it just happened. You never knew when it was going to come, but it came, and the end is nigh here. He's not coming back. He gone. He's going to be working in the front office now, still have a stranglehold on the Spurs organization, still be pulling the strings from behind the scenes, So, what's funny to me is that it never seems like they can let Coach Pop go. It's like, I don't think that the Coach Pop, maybe he wants to go ahead and just retire and not have nothing to do with the Spurs organization anymore, but I don't think they can let him go. So they go, hey, we want you in the front office. We want you here. We don't want you to go. Stick around, and if his heart's still in it and he still, wants to do this, then of course he's going to go ahead and stick around, which that's what he's doing. So credit to Pop, for still hanging around here and helping the organization out. But I don't think they don't want to push him out. I think they just can't let him go. Much like the fan base here.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to hear what Mitch has to say today. He's going to be speaking to the public on an hour. Him, Brian Wright, RC, Buford, Peter J. So you'll be your first introduction to Mitch Johnson as your new Spurs head coach. Who had that on their bingo card? Mitch Johnson as the successor to Pop. Who had that?
That's an easy out, man. To me, this is a Spurs organization that just showing the fan base, they just don't They don't give a shit about you or your feelings. They're going to pick who they think is right, the right man for the job. And unfortunately for Spur fan, it's going to be Mitch Johnson. LG, are you on the "In Mitch We Trust" bandwagon now?
Well, I have to be. Yeah, I'm putting my faith behind the guy. I mean, he's got 1 year, almost a full year in. I mean, he was assistant coach for the Austin Spurs. I mean, and yeah, I mean, obviously it's the safe pick for the Spurs, but it also is a pick that saves them a shitload of money because you go after some big name coach, you got to give him a big contract.
Yeah.
This guy's probably still under contract for his assistant. I mean, he's obviously going to get a raise now, but he's not going to get high paid like some of the other coaches in the league. And he's Spurs family. He knows the organization, and if Pop has any say on the game, he can, kind of say it through Mitch now. It's a company guy,
The thing, though,
Yeah,
with,
and then,
with Mitch is that Mitch is the easy out. Like, okay, we're going to go ahead and get him. We're going to put him here. But the thing is, Mitch has 0 wins to add to his resume right now. All the wins that he got last season were all going to the credit for Coach Pop. Mitch has 0 wins right now as an NBA coach. His wins are going to start coming next season when he's going to be the guy at the helm leading the charge. But the problem is, to me, Mitch is unproven. We don't really know what he can do. We saw a small sample size of that. But is he going to come in with a new coaching staff, Jeff? That's my big question. What kind of changes can we expect with Mitch at the helm?
Not much, I'll tell you that much. I think they're going to stick with what they got. They're going to bring in somebody new or promote somebody to the first, that first bench of assistant coaching ranks. But outside of that, no, I don't expect any big splash that he's going to bring in some other guy. Also, too, keep this in mind, Spurs fans are actually too shocked that they win with Mitch. DJ brought a good point, the Austin ties. I think DJ, he won an Austin Spurs championship, right? As a head coach.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He played in the G League as well as a player.
Yeah. There's that, and also too, every time Pop got thrown out of the game, he stepped in that kind of premier role. Where every time he was out, Pop out, it was Mitch Johnson. Every time they needed to coach for Summer League, it was Mitch Johnson. You look at what happened last season, they go with Mitch Johnson, not Brett Brown. Nope. They go with all the signs were there that he was going to get the job. I was shocked that it was happening so quickly. I thought at minimum, DJ, give us a little info that they spoke with Mike Malone or Jenkins, somebody. Becky, try to woo her back.
They made this decision before they knew. They're like they're going to squash all media, all people who are saying, "Oh, who's the next coach?" Because those were the next stories that are going to come out after Pop made his announcement. So they just, 5 minutes later, they're just like, "All right, Mitch is it. Release the press release."
Yeah, it was quick. Yeah,
that's how they handle their business. That's typical Spurs.
Short
going
and
about
sweet.
their day.
Yeah, the problem. I don't. What do you think? What do you think, Joe? Pop's gonna speak publicly about it or nah?
Nah, Pop. The problem is that people don't really understand the severity of somebody coming back from a stroke. Right now, I don't think Coach Pop, his speech is quite there yet. Ready to go ahead and be displayed publicly. I think you're going to see him in some capacity behind the scenes. He's never going to be able to come out and address the media, so to speak. And that's a credit to him because you don't want him to come out here and be slurring his words and all that. And people remember Coach Pop as him being eloquent and being able to go ahead and, speak a certain way. And I think he's getting back there, but I just don't think he's there yet. And you want to see him at 100 again. You don't want to kind of see a mere shell of the guy that's so enamored here in San Antonio. We do got a $20 incoming super chat here from the Drew Show. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it. He says, bold choice, picks Little Mitch over NBA champs. If the NBA champ can get fired by egotistical stars, Bud Malone proved the rubber meets the road real quick. In the NBA, he goes, Pop's puppet can meet the reckoning sooner than later. And that's the thing that I was going to ask you about, Jeff.
Good point.
So Mitch is going to be on the clock starting next season. And one thing that we've seen here in the NBA is that a lot of these teams want results quick, as far as the front office, ownership, and all that. they want to see the team turn around and get back to where they're contending, in the playoffs, in the postseason, because it's good for ticket sales. It's good for the revenue at the end of the day, and it's good for the city. It's been a while since Spurs fans had something to get excited about with the Spurs either in a play-in or going into a playoff. I think that's the expectation moving forward into next season. You think if Mitch can't get the team at least to the play-in and further, probably by his second or third season as the head coach, you think he's going to get his shine box?
I think so, man. He's definitely on the spotlight. He's coming to a ready-made team. It ready is made for him with Wemby and Fox, and we know the list of characters. Then whoever they pick in the draft, or if they flip for a established star, I mean, there's no way to screw this up. It's in a prime position for Mitch to do some good next season. Now, we're going to experience some coaching rookie mistakes. Yeah, he is now officially a rookie NBA head coach. I'm an interim NBA head coach now. So he's going to have his moments dropping the ball, and that's just going to come with it. But, man, you would figure if they're trying to get out of the rebuild, they would go with an established coach, not an inexperienced coach. I got to ask you, get your thoughts on this too, DJ. Do you think this set back the rebuild or it kind of stalled it a bit?
Nah, I didn't set it back at all. No, the team's still gonna, build regardless of who the head coach is. The team's still gonna grow. So yeah, I think it's actually it was a smart move by the Spurs. It saves them money.
It didn't hurt it.
They get the company guy. It doesn't hurt them at all. It
Okay.
doesn't improve. It doesn't instantly
Yeah.
improve their chances, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not a negative move.
Does it stall it? Maybe
I
stall
don't
it?
think so. I don't think it does. We don't know. Obviously, we don't know the details of what deal he gets per the Spurs, policy. They never reveal the details. But I imagine if they wanted to bring someone in, they could do it easily.
Yeah.
Look at this, Jeff. Jesse A comes up with a good point of discussion here. You screw this up by running it back with the same roster. If you run it back with the same roster, expect the same results.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
What say you, Jeff?
What's that? No, yeah. Oh, but the comment there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're bringing back the same roster, it's not a bad roster. It's not. You with Wimby, Fox, and crew healthy. Those guys healthy. So
Even
yeah,
healthy,
the
Jeff.
core-
Be honest with yourself. Would this team get past the play-in?
this, yeah, I think they have a shot. Yeah, at full power. Yeah.
You think they have what it takes to get past the play-in? Because I really don't think so, because I don't see the mental fortitude or them being tough enough. Because when you get to like a play-in game, the intensity is amplified. And this Spurs team, to me, is soft. They don't really have an identity to show that, hey, we can go ahead and flip a switch and turn up our intensity. And then if you get past the play-in and you're going into, let's say, your consolation prize, you're going to go up against a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed. We've seen what happens when you get into the playoffs, and you've seen the intensity, even like, let's say, looking at a series like Golden State versus the Rockets. And that was a very physical series there. Do the Spurs, can they match that physicality? I mean, do you think they have that in them, Jeff?
Oh man, they probably couldn't, but it'll be just one of those, paths all young teams gotta take their lumps just to get better. But I do think that they had stayed 100%. They really could have probably been in the play-in. Think of it, the West was just a mess at the end. Teams were losing. Denver that was slipping sometimes until they got a little hot at the end. Who was another team? The Warriors were fighting for their lives to get out of the play-in. And what happened? They fell into the play-in. So it was just a jumbled mess at the bottom. And I think the Spurs could have used that as an opportunity for them to get in.
Yeah. You know what I played the other day, LG? And it was funny to me because I was asking that same question, right? Are the Spurs tough enough? And I played that little jingle. Remember from the Great Thunderbirds? Are you tough enough? LG, do you think the Spurs are tough enough?
No, absolutely not. No, and no, I sorry, Jeff, I disagree. I think the roster's awful, and they need to overhaul it. There's maybe 3 guys that are you should keep, and the rest are expendable. They need to blow this thing up.
Wow, blow it, start all over again, huh?
I'd not start all over again. You got your core, you got your superstars and your rookie of the year. So, but the rest, they're all interchangeable pieces. I mean, it didn't work last year. It didn't work.
Hmm.
It didn't work. It was a failure. 10. What did they win? 10 more games. I'd say that's not much of an
Yeah,
improvement.
12,
at
yeah,
all.
12, yeah, 12
They
more
did.
games.
They
Yeah.
did get hit with injury. 12 games. Okay, they did get hit with injury. So maybe they do make the play-in if Wemby doesn't get removed because of the blood clot. But I think still, even if they did make the play-in, you blow up this roster. You make moves, as many as you can.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, there's so many rumors out there with KD and Giannis, and who knows who will be
The
next
Spurs
week and
aren't
next
known to
month.
do stuff like that, but if they
Yeah,
can, yeah, I say do it. It's a
yeah.
new era, you know.
Who wouldn't want Giannis on this team? You know, even KD. KD, even at his age, I've gone on record to
take
say
him.
this. He's better than Devin Vassell right now. Why wouldn't you want the dude on your team? Pair him up with Wemby, put him alongside out there with Fox, Castle.
Mhm.
I mean, come
Fox,
on.
Castle, and Wemby. Everybody else, you can go home and
Go home and get your fucking shine box.
There you go. And we got an incoming super chat by the Drew Show, and he's saying, "Quit BSing." He says Mitch can lose 10 games in a row. Pop won't fire him because he can't take his job or can't take. I can't see what that thing he's even telling me right now because I
he
have
can't
the
take his job. Bob Hill had a bumpy after back-to-back 60-win seasons and got fired.
yeah.
So-
Well, Bob Hill
Pop
got his
fired
shine
him,
box.
right?
Yeah,
Pop
Coach
told
Pop.
him.
Coach Pop didn't even let the brother get on the bus to go home. He got on the bus and he told the team, "I'm your captain now." You know,
Hey,
Much, yeah.
the rest is history. So
that was Gotcho back
Scoreboard.
in the day. You remember that, Jeff? You remember?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when it came out, everybody was just shocked throughout the city. Chants of fire pop started ringing out at the games. Get him out of here. You know, he was blasted all over local media. It was pretty bad. It took him about 2 championships for the
Winning
city to
heals
start
everything.
warming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
winning
Yeah.
heals everything. So if this roster comes back next season, the same roster, and they reel off 50 wins, 60 wins, then I will apologize and eat my words that I just said today.
You're gonna be wearing the "In Mitch We Trust" shirt at the game.
Yeah, there you go, DJ.
Yeah, yeah. I will.
You know, Jimenez, Jeff. We got to cook him because he's
Who's
not
that?
here
Yeah,
today.
who's that? I don't know who that guy
He
is.
remember his saying his battle cry now is Spurs in 5.
Yeah, what does that mean? Why is he saying that? I don't understand that.
I don't know because I guess Shannon Sharp had said Lakers in 5, so now Jimenez is out there saying Spurs in 5. I'm like, you got to make the playoffs first, bro.
Yeah, that's
And-
right. That's what I was thinking right now. Like, why is he saying that? They're not even in it.
Yeah,
He's trying to just agitate everybody.
of course, you know Jimenez, dude. He's
Yeah.
agitating everybody. And he's getting cooked on his day off, man. The brother's over there in Miami having a good time, and he's already just getting cooked. It's like
Leaving you out to dry, man. Having a call him
death, taxes, retirement, and then you got Jimenez getting cooked on a daily, dude.
It's not just us, dude. It's not just us. His former spot at the Star, man, we're cooking him last week.
This dude was getting cooked by his former.
On air, live, on radio, twice. They were just going at him for being an idiot.
Yeah, he's getting cooked by his former.
DJ, just to give you
people, man.
a quick heads up, Jimenez is the same guy. They went to a Spurs fan event in public in the middle of a bunch of Spurs fans and just announced how much game he has when it comes to getting ladies. Just out of nowhere.
All right. That's confidence. I guess. I don't know.
Here's another one, too. The same guy said he can measure the depth of snow with his wiener.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, that story has come out on
That's-
more than one occasion, bro.
that's impressive. I would just say he must have a.
Magnum Dong.
Yeah, that'd be a no. Oh, and then we have a $5 incoming super chat from the Drew Show. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you, man. He says, unless they get Durant, Mitch isn't winning more than 40 games. Probably can still, I guess he can't still get, I guess, 50 plus. If Pop says has a say. Mitch ain't going nowhere. Of course
Hey,
not.
think about this too. I mean, just because Pop is not coaching anymore doesn't mean he's not coach. He's not. It
He's
is
not. Yeah,
coaching.
he's not doing some
Yeah.
coaching moves. Exactly.
Look, he's back, Jeff. Jimenez is in the chat. He says Sharp was ride or die for the Lakers. I'm that way with the Spurs. He says Spurs in 5.
All right, Jimenez. Whatever
That's
that
what he
means.
says. Spurs in 5, man. See, but the thing that I wanted to ask you, Jeff, is you have stories since you've been part of the media, right? And you've been out there and you've had to ask, questions not only from the players, but
Yeah.
also from the one great Greg Popovich. I
Mhm.
mean, can you share a story or two? Like, what was that like when you had to like approach Coach Pop? Were you afraid the first time you had to ask him a question?
Nah. I just got lucky and it was a good day mode. But a couple stories that stand out for me is I think it was during the COVID year or years, whatever it was. And we're doing a Zoom. And this was just, or maybe it wasn't the COVID. I don't know. But the point is that Pop, for some reason, was, oh, right, that's right. He was doing some sort of presser and the only available was a Zoom.
Yeah.
And the team had just announced the first edition of the City Edition jerseys. Remember those who had the black and had
Oh,
the colorful stripes across
the
the
good
chest?
ones, the nice
The
ones.
good, the very, very first ones, right?
Yeah.
So we were just all, it was just kind of like a random chat with him. And then I brought it up about them bringing back the Fiesta colors. Because remember, when he started his career, that's when they first introduced the colors when he first came on to San Antonio. So it was good to walk through memory lane about that. He was giving me a story about how the colors were introduced to the city. Everybody hated it. They just thought they were stupid. How much he appreciated that those colors coming back because he was there when they first were brought to the franchise or reintroduced. And then the funny one, it was back again pre-COVID. They used to do Pop's conference post-game conferences in the middle of the hallway, not in a formal conference room. And I just got there late. I just showed up late and got stuck way in the back of the huddle. And Pop was done and he's asking anybody if anybody else has any questions. And he looked back and he saw me and he signals me out. He goes, "Hey, how about you?" And I do myself, I go, "Me?" He goes, "Yeah, you." He goes, like, you got something, you're just here just to be eye candy. And so the whole place started laughing and everything. I thought that was a cool moment. Another moment was I was at Barclays when Pop all but threw up his hands regarding the Kawhi situation. Kawhi had just finished playing his what technically become his final Spurs game against the Knicks, and the next day they're going to go against the Nets. So I was in that huddle. That's that infamous moment when he came out down the middle of the huddle, and somebody asked about the status of Kawhi, and that's where he literally threw his hands up in the air. He said, "I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to ask his people now." I never seen Pop so like just broken, just like I'm done. I don't know what else. Just know what to do anymore.
I like that. Coach
Another moment,
Kawhi laugh.
another moment was when I don't recall the season, but it was when for some reason there was a bunch of fights in the NBA. It was just fights almost like every day, and somebody asked Pop about that, about the fights that are breaking out, and then he, at his age, he was already the old man already. He kind of clears out the huddle and he goes, "Let me show you how they fight nowadays." And he did like this phantom fight against like a shadow boxing thing, and he was doing like a hold me back dance. He's like, "Hold me back, hold me dance," little punches. And I got that on video. I still have it today. I never shared it of him just shadow boxing himself and acting like he's in an NBA fight. So those are kind of some few moments I had with Pop. I guess one of the better ones too is in the locker room after they won the 2014 title, and then seeing Pop in there with all the guys. So I think that was a great moment too.
Yeah, that was. You sounds like you've had some great moments, just being around and
Mhm.
being in the locker room or being over there with the media at the end of the games, asking Coach Pop questions and just seeing the way he interacts with the media. And he can be an intimidating presence out there, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's not that intimidating figure as we've heard from some of the players. They're like, yes, he can project this persona, but at the end of the day, he's just a softie. Like he's a
That's the
nice guy
thing.
at the end of the day.
When he first came on the scene, he wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, DJ, you remember he had a radio show in San Antonio. He used to have a coach's radio show. I think it was on 1200.
It was on 760. It was
Oh,
it was the
760? Okay.
Coach Pop show. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
thank you.
with
Okay.
Walter Pasacreta
Yes.
and
Yep.
Charlie Parker. Yeah.
Yep. He had a radio show, as DJ just said right now. He used to do bits with local
Oh,
media.
it was
stations.
Vexler. Sorry, it was Jeff Vexler and Walter Pasacreta.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was
Okay.
he quit and refused to do radio after they did a racist Allen Iverson skit on 760. They
Oh,
both
The
got
infamous.
fired. Yeah, they
That's
both got
right.
fired, and that's when Pop quit. It was because of that. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. That I remember that. Imagine dropping the ball like that. Dropping the
Yeah.
ball. Yeah, Coach Pop.
You lost the station lost all access to Pop, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. Were
That
you
was
were you
the-
working with
that-
DJ or no? You just knew
I was
about it?
I was actually working there at the time, but I wasn't working for 760. I was in the same building. I was working for 1200. I hadn't done anything
Right.
with the sports station yet.
Yeah.
But it happened, and that's actually what brought Mike Taylor in. Is when those guys got fired, they brought Mike Taylor in to replace him.
That's one of those moments in radio lore here in San Antonio that you still hear now and again. You know, you hear the infamous Allen Iverson skit. You know,
Yep.
Oh,
It
wow.
was like something like somebody faked like they were Allen Iverson and they were calling in from the downtown hotel trying to score weed or something. It was stupid. It was just dumb. And Pop got upset about it and was like, I'm not coming on your show after you did that.
jeez, man.
Man.
Oh, we also got another $2 incoming super chat from the Drew Show. Appreciate you, Drew.
Is that?
And he says, Mitch will be the new Bryn Forbes. Oh, God. And I know you had just shared, Jeff, some Bryn Forbes news. Now he's
apparently
playing in
playing like
another
in-
league.
Yeah,
Right.
like I think like Puerto Rico or just some South American club now. So
He'll
like,
never sniff an NBA court again, Jeff.
No way, man. No, man. No way. It wasn't like I think his girl was like a porn star or something like that.
Yeah, he was dating
Yeah.
a porn star.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's being a porn star, man. That's not the Spurs way, huh? But
No, definitely not the Spurs way, man. Oh, look at Midtown Texas says Pop hates Yolanda from 99.5 Kiss, the bit that they
What does
used
that
to
mean?
do back then. Oh, they used to do a bit called Yolanda. It was a Latina that they would impersonate a voice, and it was quite funny. They don't have that stuff. Like they have some of the drops that they used to do from back in the day at 99.5 Kiss. You can go back and check them out, but some of them were pretty funny, dude. Like the Lyle and Han show was kind of groundbreaking for a lot of what San Antonio radio does, or former hosts go on and do their own things now, but they get that from the 99.5 Kiss show with Lyle and Han. They were kind of like paving the way for what became, radio here in San Antonio. It's quite funny, dude.
man,
Hey, I was going to ask you, Jeff. So did you go and partake of Fiesta? Any events this weekend?
I crammed Fiesta in one day. I just said, okay, I'm going to go anywhere where it's downtown and just hit them all up. So I did a King Williams Fair. By the way, people pay tickets. You just walk in. Like,
Yeah.
they'll stop you. You just walk on in, and you don't have to get a. But did that. Then I went to the park to see what's going on down there. Nothing really was much going on, just a bunch of people. Then I walked to the carnival, and man, I remember the carnival used to be downtown.
Yeah.
The Ferris wheel, lobby, like
By
near
the Kmart,
Market.
remember it was by the police station.
Yes, by the police station. Thank you. And I walked to the carnival. I was expecting that type of scene, just a massive carnival, and it was tiny.
Yeah.
It was small. It was just that Alamo Dome parking lot.
You just walk around real quick. You'd be done like
Yeah.
5-6 minutes, dude.
Yeah, you're done quick. What did I do? I did the Taste of New Orleans. I think that was the best event I did. Taste of New
That's my
Orleans was
favorite
really,
event,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah, I did
Got
that
some
one.
jazz music and some food.
Got some jazz music. Got myself some alligator. Got myself some.
Did you? Got some
Fried
gator
mushroom.
balls?
Yeah, got some of that. And then, but I had to leave early. It was just boiling hot. I have a farmer's tan now, right now. Like I had that typical farmer's tan. Using my
Yeah.
t-shirt, I've been covering my whole arm. So I left early. It was just hot. But is it just me, guys, or Fiesta doesn't feel like Fiesta anymore?
It
there's
does. It's
something
because you know what's missing? It's the Spurs in the playoffs. That's what it is. That's the magic
what it
sauce. That's what it is, man. Because you back in the day, you had like it was like a vibe, man. All across the city, they had flags everywhere. Go Spurs, go! Spurs flags on every car. People wearing Spurs gear left and right. All the chatter was, what the Spurs gonna do? Are they gonna win another chip? Everybody was talking. You could feel the electricity in the air. And now it's just a dud because this team is soft as hell, man. They're not even in the conversation, But hopefully that'll come back soon.
I just feel like it's so spread out now. I always feel like it was always concentrated. Now, if you want to go to X one, you got to go like on the north side.
There's too many events now.
Yeah.
It used to be a select few events, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we want to do Fiesta events," because everyone saw how much money these places were making.
Yeah.
So now every business or something throws a unofficial Fiesta event, and it is spread out.
Did you go to any Fiesta events, LG?
No,
No, none. Not a one.
I did go out this weekend though for a change. I went to a sports bar and watched the Canelo fight. I don't ever go out.
Nice.
Yeah.
What sports bar did you go to? I'm asking too much.
I went to McIntyre's on over by North Star Mall.
Oh, okay,
not
man.
the
You got to
South
come in
Town
with
one,
some armor there if you're gonna go over there. They get physical over there, bro.
The crowd. I noticed that, like,
Little rough.
I actually went over there with Carl Schoening of all people.
Oh, Carl,
And
man.
I didn't say it to him when I was there, but I noticed as I was looking around, I was like, wow, Carl's the minority here.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah.
He was having a great time, though.
It's a nice place, man. I mean,
Oh, they just got that big ass TV, that
Yeah.
LED like super screen in the backyard.
Outside, yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, it was.
it's a
nice
small
weather, too.
place. It's a small place, but it's nice.
They got a huge parking lot, but nah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time, but I didn't do any Fiesta activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a bunch
No,
of Fiesta crowd there, but no, nothing.
You know what
One
felt
thing.
like Fiesta more than Fiesta was the NCAA tournament in San Antonio. That felt more. The city felt more alive with that than Fiesta.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Look at what SR says. SR $2001 dash question mark says. That's what all the dumbass people take all the attention. He goes, Sucias, Edgar's, Bronco, nasty grandmas, etc. I mean, there's a lot of things that
Hey.
go on at Fiesta, man.
Hey DJ, did you see all? And Mike, I'm sorry, Joe. Did you see all the fights at the Market Square? The video that came out.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
saw
fights.
one
The
of them.
Edgar's fighting, man.
Yeah.
Dang, it was a rowdy one.
There's a
Yeah.
few rowdy ones. Yeah, we actually mentioned that earlier on the show today.
Oh, y'all
Yeah.
did? Okay.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
that's what I like about the age of social media. You get some gold like that.
The thing is, Jeff, they were talking about the Taste of the North Side. You know how it costs a certain amount to go there because they want to price a certain crowd out, right? And it's like they had it at the Rock, over there where the Spurs practice facilities at. And they were saying somebody says they should have the Taste of the West Side. Mario Cavazos put in there. Did
man.
anyone attend the Taste of the West Side? He says Mike Jimenez was in attendance in the
no.
Gordita line. One of the things that I did go and do was I went to Market Square.
Oh yeah.
And it's different, man, because now they have it all gated off, right? It's all coordinated off. And you can get in through, like, let's say, Mi Tierra, right? If you go in there and you pay for parking or whatnot. Because I was eating there before 10 o'clock is when it finally opens up. And they have the bar area, which leads straight into Market Square. So I was there just eating breakfast or whatever. And then I went into Market Square from there. I paid somebody to park the car for me, the valet parking that they had there at Mi Tierra, which was pretty cool, man. I didn't know they had that. I drove in the parking lot and the guy's like, oh, man, you can park or I can park your car for you. He goes, just give me whatever. I'm like, really? So I gave him like a couple bucks, to go and park my car and whatnot. And I just went in and enjoyed the, breakfast. And then I went in there, partook of Market Square, but it was really easy to get in and out. They had the metal detectors. And of course, if you're with the girl or whatever, they're checking purses and all that. It was nice, man. It was nice to walk around. It still had the feel of Market Square, even though everything was, kind of had a fence all around. But you really didn't notice the fence, because you can't see it because everybody's right in the center of Market Square, and you're just walking by, looking at the little shops, popping in and here and out, getting food and whatnot. if you want to go and listen to the Tejano music, which I know Mike Jimenez will have no part of, you can go ahead and go under the bridge, Jeff, and listen to the music of our peoples, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I don't know if y'all knew this, and behind, I guess technically behind the Alamo Dome parking lot, there's an
Yeah.
area called the Alley at the Dome. Did you hear about
Really?
this?
No.
Yeah, I discovered this when I was at the carnival. So it's called the Alley at the Dome, and it's just right behind the dome. It's this big, like looks like a gate, like out of a ranch, like a cattle ranchman, and it's just a bunch of little little food spots, and it's literally an alley behind the dome, and it was pretty cool. I kind of walked that a bit. It was really nice. I don't know why they don't promote that as much.
I never heard of it, dude. One thing that I did like over there at the Market Square is like right before you get to Market Square, they always do this. They have this like art show that goes on all the time. And it's free. You can go in there and just check it out and look at all the local artwork from local artists. And I like going in there because my son's an artist, himself. And we'll go in there and we pop in and we go and check it out. And I took some pictures. I posted on social media on my Facebook. And it was cool, man, just to see like what the culture is doing, and seeing what everybody's creating and all that. Plus, you're gonna go and listen to more of the Tejano music and get fed more of our culture over there, So it's a really cool vibe, man, just being around there. The only thing that absolutely sucks is the parking, man, and trying to get there because everything is just there's so much construction going on. It's hard to navigate, especially if you're like coming from out of town or whatnot. You got to park so far away, walk over there and everything. That's the only thing that was kind of a pain in the ass. But other than that, I mean, I felt safe when I was at Market Square. I'm glad that they went ahead and they had those checkpoints. You can leave, you can come in and out easily, no big deal. There was a good police presence there. You did feel safe. All in all, I still enjoyed it, even though you do have these changes. It didn't take away from the overall experience. I really enjoyed going to, downtown and checking out Market Square, just walking around. I didn't get to go and partake of the night parade because I was busy. And I went to go see that movie, The Thunderbolts, Jeff. I got to say, I thought it was a solid addition to the MCU. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Have you seen it?
Not seen it.
Go see that movie. That movie was really good. And at the end of the day, there is a good lesson there. And the lesson is it focuses a lot on mental health, which doesn't get spoken about enough. It's kind of like one of those faux pas that a lot of people don't talk about, or you're afraid to talk about it. There's a stigma about it. Hey, man, like taking care of yourself from a mental aspect is very important to your overall health. So I thought that was a great message in the movie itself.
Yeah.
But as far as like the way that it was presented and the cast of characters they had and the chemistry between them, I thought that was great. It was one of the better MCU films that I've seen to date. I mean, it was better than a lot of the other ones that you've seen out there. And you do want to stay for the two post-credit scenes. The one at the end is the big one. I'm not going to ruin that for anybody. I'm not going to ruin the film for anyone. But overall, I went and saw it. I came away, and I'd say that it was like a solid 4 out of 5 for me. It was a really good film. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out.
For someone who
All right, yeah, yeah.
oh sorry for
At,
someone
at
who
this rate, they're
doesn't-
gonna come out on Disney. Plus,
for
right?
someone who we're dealing with a delay like we're in Iraq
Yeah.
and stuff. We're dealing with a delay.
Yeah.
But
on, let
for
me see if I
someone who
refresh my
hasn't seen
page.
any of the MCU stuff or isn't, into comic books, what the hell are the Thunderbolts? Like real quick.
Thunderbolts are going to be like the anti-heroes, the heroes that aren't really supposed to be in the mainstream as far as
Jeff Garcia,
people that will come
host
in and
Locked
save
on
you,
Spurs,
right?
Ken's 5
These are
joined.
the guys kind of like the Suicide Squad from back in the day with DC, the DC universe,
Okay.
how they had the cast of the anti-heroes.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
Marvel's take on that, the return of the anti-hero being set up in a scenario where they have an opportunity to kind of showcase they're not as bad as people think they are. They might have done some bad things, but it doesn't define them as a unit,
So where does this movie exist in the whole multiverse of things? Like what universe are they in?
This is the last film of Phase 5, going into Phase 6.
I don't know what that means.
So this means that this is setting up things for the next iteration of the MCU, because in the other phases you had a lot of these characters that needed to be introduced, right? Like they were introducing new characters and new faces, like Shang-Chi. You know, they were introducing the new Black Panther. They were introducing villains like Namor, you know, and they were kind of dropping the word mutant, 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 you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got introduced to different types of characters, you know, the Red Guardian, you know, Yelena, you know, Ghost, you know, Taskmaster, you know, Bucky in his new role, you know, and what he's doing now. He's a senator, you know, kind of being that front facing guy now, instead of just, you know, kind of doing the shadow op missions with the Avengers. Now he's kind of in the public eye now as a senator. And, you know, you're just showing the transition from these guys being these ragtag mercenaries to like coming into forming a team now. And where's their spot going to be in this whole, I guess, new era of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, kind of setting things up for even bigger and better things that are coming. You know, like you have upcoming films that are going to be happening, like the Fantastic Four, you know, leading into Doomsday and all this, you know, which these things have already been talked about, but you really do want to pay attention, because this is the film that kind of is going to tie everything in together and marry it between what's coming next. So to me, it was a perfect segue to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know one of those superheroes you just named, but
No, Jeff does. Jeff does.
Yeah.
well, I know Jeff's into it.
Yeah, I'm into that, and I'm glad that's a good segue too, because right here where we're talking, I just got my panel list, Joe, for the Anime Con that I'm hosting in a couple of weeks already. So we got voice actors from the Dragon Ball Z series. The old school Sailor Moon voice actors are going to be there. So it looks like it's going to be a heavy hitters. Man, I got to bone up on my old school anime, Joe. Man,
Well,
a while since I've seen
so
those.
speaking of old school anime, since we have you on, Jeff, I was just trying to learn what anime I should watch as someone who's never watched anime before.
Okay.
And so far the number one suggestion I've had is Death Note, and
Yep,
that's the
that's
one.
good.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been, that's
Yeah.
the one I've been watching. I
Yeah.
started it. I've watched
I-
like
I-
2 or 3 episodes of it.
I'll give you. I'll start you one, but it's a little more modern, like maybe a year old.
Okay.
But it is, and you probably heard of it. But if you didn't, I'm glad you didn't, because you're about to have one hell of a ride.
I guarantee you I haven't heard of it. So.
All right, go on, go on Netflix, and Joe, right when I say the name, you're gonna be like, "Yep." Go check out Blue Eyed Samurai.
Blue-Eyed
Okay.
Samurai. Man, I'm writing it down now. Or
That one,
That's another good one.
that's a damn good one.
Yeah.
Another good
All
one,
right.
and I recommend, and it's only season one, because there's 2 seasons, but season one you'll be fine. If you skip season 2, nobody would hate you. Is League of Legends Arcane.
Is it like the video game League of
Mhm.
Legends?
Yeah, but it's a
Okay.
different take
It's a
on it.
different take of it, yeah.
It's really well done. The animation is top notch, man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are a couple of modern ones. Now, if you want to go old school, I would say anything from the '90s worked. And I always say '90s anime was peak anime. That
Well, yeah.
yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
just amazing. I mean, you
Even
wanna-
early 80s and late 80s anime was pretty good if you watch the right stuff, Jeff.
right? But there was something about that '90s anime, man. The art
Yeah.
style,
Yeah.
the storyline. I mean, from Berserker. I mean, that's
Akira?
not kids, man. That is definitely not for kids.
Ninja
That is-
Scroll.
Yeah,
Ninja
Ninja
Scroll,
Scroll,
yeah.
Akira. You can't forget Akira, man. That's one of the
Can't forget
goats.
that one.
Ninja
yeah.
Scroll is the first anime I ever saw.
Yeah.
I had a con I hosted one time, DJ, and the voice actors for Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z series we did a panel. So I said, "Hey guys, in your characters' voices, how would they argue over the last fajita taco in San Antonio?" And they did this like
Yikes.
entire impromptu sketch for the fans. And to the day, I regret I didn't have my cell phone ready. I only recorded the last few moments. I was like, "What am I doing? Let me record from beginning to end." I just so enthralled, I got sucked into it like a fan. So there's that, and then what other kind of stuff I can tell you in this world, this anime world? It can get very hardcore. There's some people that there's fans, and then they'll know every sentence from every anime from different whatever, and they will know it. So when I go to these cons, DJ, I literally have the voice actor say, just give us softball questions because we don't know. This is just our job. We don't read, everything. We just go in, say the lines, and get out.
Yeah.
So they'll look,
That's a good
yeah,
gig.
yeah, and then they'll say, hey, if we get stuck, man, like divert their attention or something, because I've seen some wild fans just get up in that microphone when it's their Q&A time and just ask these questions about the character when they were drawn in
Or
like the
the
inceptions.
storyline too.
Yeah,
They have no. The actors have no idea.
they have no idea. Yeah, so it gets wild like that.
They're
So
like,
is it the
I'm only paid here to talk. That's it.
So these voice actors that are appearing at these conventions, they're the American or the
Right.
English voice
Right.
actors, because
Yeah.
obviously it's in Japanese in Japan, right?
Yeah.
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 Damn, Jeff, look at this. Hand Over Fist is bringing a blast from the past, bro. Vampire Hunter D, and they just had that one shown in the theaters, man.
That's right, they did. Yeah, I didn't get to
Yeah.
go check it out, but that is definitely an old school one.
Old school.
Then you got some other ones that I would recommend to you. There's some that I want to recommend to you, but
Well, we don't want to alienate the entire audience.
Well,
here,
it's not
you know?
that. It's just that they're just so they're just so time consuming.
Yeah.
There's some,
Yeah.
like Attack on Titan. That one's just too time consuming, but it's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Hunter x Hunter, good series. Matter of fact, that's one of Darren Foss's favorite anime. He told me, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
But that one you have to invest a lot of time into. But these
all
quick,
right.
short burst ones like season 1, Arcane, Blue Eye Samurai, perfect. And I think you'll walk away from those saying like, damn, I just watched a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be dressing in cosplay before I know it, right?
I might see you at one of my cons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? My son, he's going to college right now for animation, right? So he's all into the 3D animation, and he can draw really well and everything. He's like I said, he is an artist. But he's going for animation, learning how to do all these things, as far as like bring whatever he's thinking about to life, in a 3D animated world. And one of the things that I'm good at, believe it or not, is storytelling. So I can write. Way before I did all this, I was a good writer. I still am. So I've written down some short stories, and I was telling him, you know what? I said, let me go ahead and give you one or two of these short stories that I already have from start to finish. And that way we can kind of collab and work on it together. Here's the story. And I want you to go ahead and put your take on it as far as what you can make happen and see what happens as far as maybe he can enter it in a contest or something and kind of make a name for himself.
Guys, I don't want to interrupt you, but Pop is speaking live right now. Go there right now. And you can definitely see the effects of the stroke.
Damn. Where is it at, Jeff?
Go to Spurs website. Spurs YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh my God, you can definitely see the effects of the.
I told you, man. This shouldn't be a surprise. I mean,
he's flanked by Tony and Manu and Timmy.
Yeah, let's see if we can get that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Spurs.
Okay.
And you said it's on the Spurs YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, let me let you go, okay, guys. Sorry.
All right, man. No problem, Jeff. Talk to you later. All right, so we went ahead and said goodbye to Jeff because, like they said, this is a breaking news. So there is
getting better by the day, but it's not good enough for what we plan ahead, and so it's time to make this change. I want to thank all of you in here, former players, coaches, friends, people from the ticket office, or people who put on a show during timeouts. We all have a part in this. It's not just the players and the coaches. Everybody has been dedicated to do their part to make a successful, thriving organization. And that starts at the top with the whole family. And we will continue to do our best to do this with class. It's one of the reasons why Mitch Johnson will be taking over, because we have total faith in him to continue what's been started a long time ago. I want to thank all my rehab people, some of whom are here. Javier, are you here? Where are you at? Oh, Javier, Courtney, Melissa, you back there. There's also Jessica, Rolando, and Christian, who couldn't be here because they have a real job. And of course, Curtis and Nick, who are also here for my rock workouts. And Timmy and Manu, of course, who have been here for all of my workouts here at the Rock. They say it's because they love me and they want to be there in case I fall, they're going to catch me and that sort of thing. I call it payback. They say give the rehab people new ideas of things to do to me. So
All right.
you're not fooling anybody,
We went ahead and shared a
especially
little
you,
bit of
Timmy.
it. So we're going to go ahead and move on here. We just got to see that is a live news conference that they got going on there at Spurs.com, where Coach Pop is addressing the media. And you can kind of see the lingering effects of the stroke. We wish Coach Pop the best, in his rehabilitation here as he comes on the mend, back from suffering that stroke earlier in the season. But one of the things we're going to talk about here is we're going to kind of address the NBA playoffs and the NBA playoffs that occurred over the weekend as far as teams getting eliminated and teams moving on. So one of the teams that we do have moving on here is the Nuggets. The Nuggets went ahead and defeated the Clippers by a final score of 131 to 115. I'm sorry, not that was the wrong one. They defeated them on Saturday by a final score of 120 to 101. I was reading the other one. I went too far up. And the other one,
that score is actually closer. That final score is closer than what the game actually was.
it was, but at the end of the day, I think
a
that the
blowout.
Nuggets experience kind of shine through here at the end, in a game 7, and they kind of move on. The Clippers are one of these teams that kind of choke in the big moments, and once again that happened. They had an opportunity maybe to go ahead and win the series, but that was not to be. The Golden State Warriors and the Rockets, I did see that one yesterday, and the Warriors kind of controlled this one and never relinquished the lead back to the Rockets, and they actually blew the lead up in that fourth quarter. They were up, I think, at one time by as many as 20 points, and the final score there is 103 to 89. Send the Rockets packing, even though the Rockets were the number 2 overall seed in the Western Conference. So that's going to be interesting now. And then the other game that was kind of an upset, that I'm actually picking the Pacers over the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers aren't as good as advertised, even though they have the overall best record in the NBA. The Pacers actually defeated the Cavaliers on their home court to take the home court advantage from them by a final score of 121 to 112. This Pacers team is kind of scrappy, man. They surprised me a lot in the way that they've been able to play. I mean, they still have a great coach in Carlisle there, but this is a young team, and it's just like they play like they know their identity. They play their roles well, and they can be at times a scrappy team where they really get down and get physical, especially inside the paint. So I've been really surprised by the turnaround of this Pacers team. So I think they can actually be pests to the Cavaliers, especially in the 7-game series. I think they're going to wear them down. And I believe that the Pacers have what it takes to go ahead and best the Cavaliers in that 7-game series. The other game that's going to be kicking off today, the new series here, is going to be the Knicks and Celtics. Picking the Celtics over the Knicks. I just think the Celtics are, in fact, the better team, and they're going to just be able to handily beat this New York Knicks team. I say they're going to go ahead and beat them in 5 games. If it goes 6, it wouldn't surprise me, but Celtics with the gentleman's sweep, that's what I have of them going over and beating the Knicks. The other series that's going to get started here, too, on today is going to be the Nuggets and the Thunder. I'm picking the Nuggets to go ahead and best the Thunder. I think the Thunder's inexperienced, even though they're a young team, they're the better team on paper. The Nuggets' experience will shine through, and we've seen that happen in some of these playoff series here early on. I think the Nuggets are going to be able to best the Thunder and move on. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Nuggets got that one for sure. I think it might even be a sweep. Maybe one game. Maybe they get one. Thunder get one game, but they got no one that can stop Joker. I mean, no one.
Yeah, they ain't got nobody that can. I mean, the Joker's good. The one thing too is we can't forget that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Russell Westbrook's been playing really well for this Nuggets team, man.
He's become
Seems like he's found his
a little
identity.
bit of a favorite over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like their sixth man, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like he's found his home. He's found an identity there with the Nuggets, should I say?
And he's embraced, his new role.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have to be that guy, that's going to have to be have the ball in his hands constantly to be he's going to be forced to make a move, have the team on his back. He's
real
freed up
lippy out there. He's still got that attitude. He's gonna hang on the rim and get a technical foul for no reason whatsoever.
That's just him.
He's still gonna be Westbrook, but yeah,
That's just him.
It's interesting seeing him out there and the fans embracing him like they have.
Yeah, the other series that'll get going here on Tuesday is going to be the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. I mean, the Timberwolves, right, I say, and the Warriors, not the Nuggets. Timberwolves and Warriors. This one's interesting to me. On paper, the Timberwolves are the better team, and they should win this series. But there's something to be said about the Warriors right now and the way that they've been playing. I still think that the Warriors will best. I mean, I'm thinking the Timberwolves are going to best the Warriors. I got the Timberwolves winning in 6 games. I think the Warriors are going to make it interesting, but at the end of the day, I just think that the Timberwolves have the better team, and they're going to be able to kind of overwhelm the Warriors at times. So we'll see. I think this is going to be a chippy series as well. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth going on here. So I know a lot of people dropped off because they wanted to go see that interview that's going on, or say the Coach Pop addressing the media. And I don't blame them. This is the first time that Spurs fans are actually seeing him address the media.
Ever since the stroke happened, he hasn't made one public announcement. He hasn't been seen
at all.
And that was a little interesting to watch there. I mean, you could definitely see the effects of the stroke on physically and
on
in
him
and audibly in his speech, but he still had his sense of humor and was cracking jokes at the crowd. So that was good to see.
It's good to see him. He's still on the mend. Like I said, I mean, having been around people who have had strokes before and watching the rehabilitation process, it takes a little bit of time for them to get back to where they were. And people don't understand that when you suffer a stroke, there's some type of limitations that you have in your mobility, in your speech. You have to learn how to walk again. You have to learn how to use your limbs again.
Those connections, the synapses in your brain are severed when you have a stroke, and you have to form the connections again. And some people have it worse than others, and so he could come back 100%. You won't see any effects, but you never know if that will happen. But it's good for him for getting up there in front of the audience there and having Timmy and Manu by him.
Yeah, I mean,
shed a tear right now just seeing that.
And people are saying, bro, he shouldn't be working. That's the Spurs organization, man. At the end of the day, I think it's the Spurs organization that can't let Pop go. I don't think it's the other way around.
Well,
maybe
I think it's his decision, honestly.
Yeah,
they
can't let him go.
He doesn't. A lot of old people, they don't want to stop working, because the moment they stop working is the moment they stop living.
They get died.
Yeah.
And that's true. That is true, though, because I've seen that happen where you have people leave, right? And they're like, all right, go enjoy retirement. And like 2-3 years later, they just boom. Because the job was.
The job was it. That was their driving force on life. And it's like,
Yeah. No, man.
I'd give old people something to do. So,
I'd be like
a cush job, president job,
When I retire, bro, I want to get away from all this stuff. I don't want to be connected to the grid anymore. I just want to be kind of like, want my little slice of land. I just want to live off grid. I just want a quiet life. I don't want no technology anymore. I was like, if I have to have a phone, of some kind of smartphone to keep in contact with my kids and everything, that's great. I'll do that. But for all intents and purposes, I just want a small house. I want a couple acres of land, and I'm going to be busy traveling and seeing the world, dude. I'm like, F that. I'm going to go and see everything that I want to see before I can't do it no more.
There you
know?
Go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great plan.
That's going to be my purpose, traveling. And we got another $5 incoming super chat here from the Drew Show. Appreciate you, Drew. He says, Pop is now El Jefe, and Jefe didn't bother to interview anybody for the new coaching. He said that Mitch deserved it. So says Jefe.
Well, it is what it is,
Yeah, well, that's what the thing is. It's just this. It's the Spurs organization who feel like Mitch Johnson deserves it, and like you had pointed to, LG, it's probably also a move that's going to save them quite a bit of money at the end of the
It's gonna
day.
save them money, and I guarantee Wemby had something to say about it. They're not gonna just do this without
Oh
asking
yeah,
Wemby what he thought. If Wemby hated Mitch, Mitch would be gone.
yeah, but he's not.
Yeah, I feel
So
like he's the perfect coach
yeah,
right now, and the Spurs made a good move by doing it.
yeah, he did. I think it gives them at least the ability to say they have some plan moving forward, and it's they did this strategically ahead of the NBA draft lottery that's going to happen
Hmm.
because they needed to go ahead and clear the air. They need to go ahead and make this maybe be attractive to say free agents that they could be going after here in the summertime. Because if you're a free agent, the biggest question was who's going to be coaching this team? Who's going to be your head coach? And the Spurs really couldn't answer that. Now they have a definite answer for that. So if you're going to go after a Giannis or you're going to go after a Kevin Durant or anybody else, maybe in free agency, you can say, "Hey, Mitch is our guy now. We're gonna roll with him." And what I think can make this attractive, and I'm not saying it can happen this season, if the Spurs make a deeper run than they did in this season, like they get into a play-in or they get a playoff berth, and the team looks great when they're
Well, yeah,
healthy.
winning heals everything.
Yeah,
You know,
and they
winning
have to
solves
look
all
good.
the problems.
Yeah, they have to look good, when everybody's healthy, because dealing with injuries is just part of the game. You had the deep vein thrombosis that hit Wemby, then you had the finger issue with Fox, and that
Hmm.
sidelined him as well. And then the Spurs were just sitting Sohan. They decided to sit Vassell. They were just sitting players and seeing what they had in the Young Bucks because at that point in time, you really had nothing to play for anymore. Just going ahead and let some of the other guys get some run and see what they can do. Because I'm sure there's going to be decisions that are going to be had in the offseason. Some of these guys aren't going to be returning. And it's just part of the business, as far as
Hmm.
them being casualties of the Spurs making steps to move forward because they do need some shooters on this team, and maybe that's
Well,
something they'll
you've
address.
got people that are just giant question marks of like why they're on the roster too, like
Yeah,
Malachi Branham or whatever, and Mamu even he doesn't
he's a
really have
fan
a
favorite.
yeah he's
Yeah,
a fan favorite, but he doesn't have a significant role on the team. Wesley also doesn't really have
yeah,
a
Blake
significant
Wesley.
role, but the players love him,
Yeah,
and apparently like De'Aaron Fox says he's amazing, but we'll see. I haven't seen it on the court.
he can be, but maybe not here. The same thing was said about Shemezi Metu. I liked Shemezi. I always saw that Shemezi was a hard worker.
Hmm.
I remember going out there to games, really early, and I would see him out there practicing. He was always out there with the coaching staff, always out there practicing, running, shooting, working on his game.
Yeah.
And I had high hopes for Shemezi Metu, man. I thought he was going to be an instrumental piece as far as not like a superstar, but just somebody that played their role well.
Yeah.
But he just never developed into that type of player, and they went ahead and let him go.
Yep. And Champagne, he's kind of a waste of space too. Jeremy Sohan didn't perform well at all this year. And, maybe that's partly to blame for his switch of position the previous season. He kind of just doesn't know where he fits in, I feel like. And coming off the bench, he's not the sixth man. I mean, who do you give that to? Do you give that to Castle or Keldon? You know?
Yeah, and look at the Drew Show says, "Make no mistake, Joe. Heffa made it clear no trades moves. We got players in Austin." And he goes on the team now, so says Hefe.
So we got so yeah. So basically Drew Show is saying Pop is dictating everything and we're still gonna be under the rule of Coach Pop. The team
He's
will never improve as long as Coach Pop is still influencing everything.
he's gonna rule with an iron fist. So it's like, I mean, everybody can see, the lingering effects with Coach Pop. Some of them have gone in. Some of the listeners have gone in the chat here and said he has no business working. He has no business, returning, and if
I
it
mean
makes
that's
him
all on
happy,
him. He
man.
wants to work. That's what he
Yeah,
if he felt he didn't want to, he would have retired.
yeah. I'm saying
And
that. Yeah,
even if he shouldn't be working, he's gonna be the one that makes that decision.
yeah. Drew Show says, "No, fool. He said it in his speech. He said it to the press. He said it to you. Okay, get it. We get it. We're just saying, at the end of the day, Coach Pop, he still wants to be here with the team in some capacity, and the team still wants to be, have Coach Pop involved. So there you go. The job that he's been appointed is going to keep him around. He'll be out there. He'll probably address the media here and there once in a while. Probably come out and for the fans so they can go ahead and wave at Pop. So I fully expect the Spurs are going to do something for him that first game of the season. When the Spurs are here at home, they're probably going to have Coach Pop come out and say hi, and they're going to have the tribute video. Tears will be shed. Spurs fans will get a last look at him there, and he's going to just go ahead and move into his new position there and kind of be like, all right, I came out, I said hi, y'all gave me my flowers, I'm done. I'm gonna go behind the scenes.
You'll see him every now and then in the arena, sitting there taking in a game, watching some stuff. But yeah,
he's gonna be
the end of an era.
Yeah, he'll be out of the spotlight pretty much. Like you said, you'll see him there with Timmy or Manu or Tony. Mm-hmm. They don't really address the media all that much once in a while, but nah, you just see him there. They'll show the camera, they wave hi. That's about it. That's all you're gonna see about him. You done. But you got anything that you're working on? You want to go ahead and tell us? Because I seen you keep dropping some episodes of LG's house, and you were talking with Carl the other day when the Coach Pop news dropped. So
I figured me and Carl Schoening got on the air right after Pop dropped that news that he was moving to the front office job, and felt like we had to get on and talk about it. So I invited Carl over, and he was ready to get on the air. So, and I reeled off an episode last night with my buddy Gary. If you want to follow what I'm doing, you can check out my YouTube channel at DJLG210 or any of my social medias. If you're a Twitcher, what up my Twitches? You can follow me on Twitch at LG's House, LGS House. And we miss you, Drew Show. You went away from us for a while there.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back. And then tonight I'll be on the air with Puma, the biggest Puma, at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have a Sports Cave live at 8 p.m. on my channel and on Puma's channel at Sports Cave Live on YouTube. And yes, that's my channel right there. I've got 7 episodes in there on my show, and then Puma's show will be doing episode 6, I believe.
Yeah, so make sure you go and give some love to Puma over here.
Yep, Puma and the
Sports
Captain
Cave
will be there doing their thing, and we'll have episode 6 tonight at 8 p.m. And I'm sure there's going to be hot takes about Pop, and Puma's going to talk NHL playoffs like he likes to do, and a bunch of other stuff, lots of cigarette smoking, and who knows.
So make sure you go and like both their channels, Sports Cave and also LG's
I
house.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll try to, like I said, it's fun having you on, man. So we'll probably try to get you on here more often so we can go ahead and just shoot the shit,
Yeah, I'm not making any money from broadcasting. I just enjoy doing shows.
Yeah.
Producing
fun
stuff. So this isn't, that's why I don't go out and I'm not trying to like shove sponsors down your throat or anything like that. So.
Yeah,
but I am for sale. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
He's all, I am for hire. I am for hire. If you need a producer, there you go.
Yeah.
Hit up LG.
Maybe.
Yeah, all right, man. We're gonna go ahead and call it. It's 11:30. I got to get ready to go to work here. Log in early and start working, bro. So we'll see you boys tomorrow. But thank you for staying here with us. I'm gonna go see if I can check out a little bit of that Pop addressing the media, Mitch addressing the media. See some of that video, man. And there we go. We got one more chat before we leave. To all the Spurs slurper, I just think Los Spurs have been in the lottery like 5 years since the last championship. Because I think they'll sink in. We're basura. We're basura. All right. Thank you all for watching. Later, Sam Salinas, Matt Gomez, all the Spurs faithful here that watch us. We appreciate you. So for LG, I'm Joe Garcia. Thank you for watching another episode of Area 210. We'll be back tomorrow. We're out. Peace.